Okay, anyway, back to it. Once we've got, we'll notice here that he starts swinging the feel a little bit more. He plays this fairly straight, especially if you compare the feel, and by straight I mean the 16th notes are an even subdivision of the beat, whereas if you listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan play the intro to this tune, he shuffles it a lot more. Hendrix plays around with it more. He plays straight a lot more and then sort of just counters it with some of the swing feel. And this is one of the places where he does shuffle the feel a little bit on the F. So when he slides down to it, in the last beat of that measure, or the last two beats of that measure, you hear a little bit more, a little bit of that shuffly rhythm sound when he's strumming that. Okay, so moving into the next measure, he kind of keeps his shuffle feel for the next couple of measures here. He's going to play to the C chord, and here it's actually not a regular C chord, it's a C6. So it's a C major chord, which has C, E, and G in it, plus an extra note, the 6th of the scale, the A. So what he does here is plays what seems to be like a regular C chord, which would be, you know, your good old cowboy C there. C at the 5th fret, E at the 3rd fret of the 4th string, open G, and then C with the 1st finger. But to get the A in there, you fret with that 2nd finger, kind of like, almost like put it in between those two strings, and it sort of catches both of them. And there we've got, so now we've got an A on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. So this measure, he goes in, from a little hammer-on grace note to the C, the E and the C together, or I'm sorry, E and A together, which is the 4th and 3rd strings, and then he kind of strums a little. So you have add the D there with the little finger on that 2nd string and pull off to the C 1st finger. So, and then a little up strum at the very end of the measure across the A, E, and C, or 4th string, 3rd, 4th, and 5th strings, and then. So this is all kind of swingy feeling, and then he slides in from the C to the D with the 1st finger, and he's still kind of shuffling the rhythm, and plays just a power chord D at the 5th fret. You get the slide, and then like an 8th note of time on the D, and then a strumming pattern on the D and the A, and then he moves to a little bit of a melody figure at the very end, which is going to be right here in the D major pentatonic position, because it's still over the D chord, or implying a D chord. So at this point, we're going to have that phrase to end the whole intro. So it's going to bar the 7th fret, 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, and we play all 3 of those and hammer on to the B. So you keep those 2 strings, the 3rd and 2nd strings, ringing, and then back, lift the 3rd finger, so just play the 7th fret again, all 3 strings. Move down to the G, and still holding that bar. And this time we're going to play these 3 strings, the 5th, 4th, and 3rd strings. So we have G, A, and D. And then all 3 of these, so E, A, and D. And then the downbeat of that last measure when the drum fill comes in and the vocals come in. That little hammer on there, so hit all 3 again and hammer on to the F sharp at the 9th fret of the 5th string. The thing about this though is that if you learn this thing note for note, that's really cool. That's like step one. But when it comes to playing it, you need to remain loose, because it's really difficult to play this thing and try to get every little note in it, because it's pretty spontaneous. It sounds like Hendrix just kind of let it flow. And if you listen to him, what few live recordings you can find of this tune, it seems like he kind of you know, shot from the hip with this song a little bit. It's always great, but it's always different. And to get that kind of spontaneity, you have to be really loose. So I would advise that if you want to play it note for note, you got to play it a lot of times. And if you want to capture the feel that he had, you're going to have to play it a whole lot more times than that even. It's very difficult to get note for note and have the feel in this thing. So it takes a lot to do that. To me, the feel is the most important thing in it, though, because I want to recreate the vibe as much as anything else when I play it. So I would advise you to learn it note for note, and then just let yourself express it. And to do that, I think you need to start studying why he played what he did. Aside from just the fact that he played it to imply a certain chord, we'll talk about why and how he did that in the next segment, so that hopefully you can get some versatility in your own playing and use of these ideas. Okay, now to produce the texture that you hear in Little Wing, Hendrix was employing a couple of concepts that are pretty cool and easy to follow if you understand them. And that's that when you have a major chord, you would apply major pentatonic to it, and if you have a minor chord, you apply minor pentatonic to it. And the pentatonic scale, in the case of a major, it has 1, 2, 3, 5, and 6, and the chord itself is just 1, 3, and 5, right? So you're adding a second degree and a sixth degree from the key. So if I have C major, I have C, D, E, G, A. Okay, and the chord itself is just C, E, and G. So I'm getting the extra sound if I add the pentatonic sounds. Second degree that I can add, which is the ninth, and I'm getting the sixth degree, which is also known as the 13th. Okay, so Hendrix would use those extra notes to dress up a major chord, and they're really like I say, they're safe choices. So any of the major chords in the key, you can apply that to under most circumstances. Okay, so same thing is true of the minor. The minor scale, or minor chord rather, so if we had a C minor chord, you would apply the C minor pentatonic to that, and the minor chord is 1 flat 3 5, and the minor pentatonic is 1 flat 3 4 5 flat 7. Okay, so in that key of C, that means we have a C, an E flat, an F, a G, and a B flat. Okay, so to add to the chord, then just like a lot of the stuff you hear in Little Wing, he's just playing out of that and doing like a pair of notes, and hammering on those little two-string things. Same kind of thing he might do for major. So let's say I had a C major. Just do it for major pentatonic. Okay, so that's a really super versatile little thing you can do. It makes playing just plain chords like major chords and minor chords really fun. And you can be spontaneous with it. Hendrix was really spontaneous with that. Now, another thing that Hendrix would do is just add the extensions, any of the extensions to the chord. So if we go back to a major, C major, I'm going to play it Hendrix style with my thumb for the bass note. You could add the fourth. The little finger can add any of the three regular extensions. So the only note that with this situation that we're not really going to add as the 7th. So, and it's possible to add it, but the common thing for Hendrix would be to add the 4th. In the case of C, that's going to be an F note, so we're going to add that on the 3rd string with a little finger, just like you hear in the Little Wing on the G. Okay, so I'm just doing that to the key of C. Okay, if I want to add the 6th to the key, I just add it there with the little finger on the 2nd string. In this case, I'm adding an A. And then to add the 9th, adding that on the top string. So we can hear these in a lot of the other songs as well. So like Wind Cries Mary, in part of the verse we hear that kind of thing where he's playing a major chord that walks down and he just keeps the 9th on. I think the version I'm thinking of, it's a regular triad, and then as he walks down, he adds the 9th to those two. Very interesting. Okay, another example where he adds the 6th would be in the same song. He does in the chorus. Okay, so that's just a G chord, and adding an E, and then a B flat chord, and adding a G with the little finger on the 2nd string for each of those. Okay, so there are millions of examples of that, lots of examples in Hendrix's repertoire. So anyway, experiment with it, steal things from any of it, and mix and match, make your own vocabulary out of it. It's a really fun way to play rhythm guitar. It's really interesting. So check out, especially the Axis Bold as Love album. A lot of the other songs on there have really great examples of this kind of stuff. Some of my favorite live work of Hendrix where you hear this is like the Monterey show. A lot of great examples. Stevie Ray Vaughan was also really good with this style. Plenty of that in his playing. So anyway, I hope you'll explore it, and remember to keep a real loose feel when you play this stuff. You want to sound natural and flowing. Alright, and I hope you enjoyed this, and for GuitarBreakdown.com, I'm Carl, and I'll see you soon.